Hello. Back again, and just a quick one today, just to clarify something that sometimes bugs me. One of my little pet peeves that I've been going on about for quite a while with just different people in my life. The whole question of whether God exists and how there is actually a definitive answer. Now you're gonna. This is like one of the areas that you're gonna have the most heated debate that you possibly could have. Usually in a pub in my life or somewhere like that, but you'll have people in both camps very ardently insist that God exists, that they've had personal experiences, that they feel that there's a plan for them in their life. And then you'll have people on the other end of the spectrum who insist that God doesn't exist. They'll usually cite not always, but they'll usually cite things like the argument from evil and stuff like that. With all of the evil in the world, how could God possibly exist? So you get these two camps at each other's throats sometimes, metaphorically speaking, both adamant that God doesn't exist. I always like to be honest on this channel. Don't see the point in having this channel otherwise. A lot of it is just for me to let off steam and to talk about things that I wouldn't normally be able to talk about in my everyday life. Not many people want to talk about this stuff, so it's good just to get it off my chest. But I'm, in the interest of honesty anyway, I'm more in the latter camp. But that brings me to the point of this quick video. There is actually a definitive answer. When you go on these forums, I was on a Facebook forum the other day and I just couldn't resist. There was this a philosophical forum, and this question usually pops up, the whole battle over whether God exists or not. And based on my own experience anyway, which is all I can go by really, and just the anecdotes of everyone else and all the confluence of everything that I've heard, at least to my mind at the moment, that I can think of, I just don't know. It's just like, I think no one really bloody knows. It's something, one of those unanswered questions that will only be answered even if just by demonstration at the point of death. No one really knows this stuff, and if they did, and if it was provable, then it would be ubiquitous, because there's nothing more, the knowledge of it would be everywhere. Everyone would know about it. It would be one of the greatest discoveries ever, and then people would have a proper answer. But it isn't, is it? You have gurus, you have prophets, you have all of these scientists, you have all of these different people that may think that they know, but then death and the afterlife and whether God exists and all of these questions that are related to each other, we're never truly going to know on an individual basis until after we're dead. That's hence all the religions, right? So you get people that claim that God talks to them, gives them revelations, and given these revelations, given their holy sort of status, that means that within them the answers are there. So you go to heaven or hell, you get punished after you die. God does exist, therefore, so that's a prerequisite. But as for the whole question of God and the afterlife and things like that, we just don't know. And that is the definitive answer. I'm sorry if the title was very clickbaity. I'm sorry if that's not a satisfying answer in either camp, but I want to make it a mark of this channel and my own personal vlog on these issues that I want to be totally honest, and I can't just sit here staring you in the face saying I've got all the answers, or I know someone who's got all the answers, or I've read this book that has irrefutable evidence that God exists, or a mathematical equation or some silliness like that. The only answer we do have, definitive answer, is that we don't know. And you can look at that as a scary thing if you like, but you could also look at it as quite exciting as well. Fear of the unknown is very powerful, of course, but then there's also hope. And as the old saying goes, hope often trumps fear. And again, there's no real evidence that I can see that we should allow fear of the unknown to allow and fill that vacuum of knowledge with negative stuff. Why should we? Why shouldn't I feel hope that either there's a definitive end to existence, which means that I should live my life to the full now, help others, do what is meaningful to me? Why shouldn't I feel that way and think that way and orient my life that way, rather than feel like I'm going to be punished in some eternal way or something like that? So there is an answer, and it's disappointing, it's annoying. We don't know. At least the living don't know. No one really knows definitively, and if they say they do, they're either deluded They're either wrong or perhaps they are right. Who knows? Maybe there is a God. The right answer is that no one knows, and despite all of the arguments, despite all of the arguments for and against God's existence, it could very well be that God exists. We simply don't know, and until we shuffle off this mortal coil, so to speak, we probably never will know. At least the living won't. But as I said, also an occasion for hope as well as fear. I think there's no reason to balance one over the other. So we don't know. Kind of makes it exciting. Maybe we do just die and that's it. Maybe there is something afterwards. I don't like to believe. That's a proper way of saying it. I hope anyway. I don't like to believe that any kind of God is that vindictive, that for finite transgressions, for being imperfect, for being made that way, that I'm going to suffer eternally. But obviously I'd be lying to say that I've never thought about it, that it doesn't concern me. Of course I could be wrong. All of the atheists could be wrong. All of the people that believe in God could be wrong. Who knows? Could be something we haven't even conceived of or imagined. But it'll be interesting to find out, even if it's just by demonstration, even if at the moment of death it really does go black, and in that microsecond you have that realization, this really is the end. Who knows? But yeah, so just my 2 cents on the matter. There is an answer, at least for the living. We don't bloody know. Sorry to be a bit of a disappointment, but let me know what you think in the comments. Have you had an experience where you just know 100% there is a God and I'm wrong and there is an answer? It's just that only a certain amount of people or want to open their eyes or something like that, or have had that experience that verifies their belief that God exists. Let me know. Let me know on the other end as well, if you're the whole atheist outlook, and I shall see you in the next one. Cheers.